William Paterson University Television.
Welcome back to the desk. Spring is right around the corner, and with that means one thing. Baseball season at William Paterson is underway. And here to talk the latest regarding everything going on at Jeff Albies with Anthony, Mike, Joe, and Andrew. You know, guys, Dan Carter, to put it simply, last season, historic Pioneer season. NJAC Player of the Year, among other accolades. So, Mike, throw it over to you. Talk to me about the Pioneer stud.
I mean, the numbers speak for themselves. 430 batting average, 62 ribbies, only 3 errors all year, and even threw a few innings. I mean, he can do everything for the Pioneers, and he's the reason they got to where they got to, and that's why I think they're going to do it again this year.
Yeah, he's got that mean facial hair.
Oh, my God, unbelievable.
I mean, it's comparable to yours.
Oh, I wouldn't even say, look at that. That is just incredible.
It is incredible.
1,000 OPS, too. Over 1,000. That's crazy.
Anthony, you got a nice beard, too. Talking about Dan Carter.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of Dan Carter. And, you know, it's not just all about the number. I mean, to an extent it is, because the numbers were absolutely insane. But what else Dan Carter does? He provides protection to the lineup for other batters, like Steve Yellen. You have Dan Carter batting fourth, Steve Yellen batting third. People don't want to pitch to Dan Carter, so they pitch to Steve Yellen. That opens up a lot of opportunities for Steve Yellen to really do some damage, which he did, as well as Colin Lombardo, Elliott Hayward, other players on the Jake Lutz, other players on the Pioneers as well. So he is just an all-and-out force throughout the lineup.
We saw what Steve Yellen has done so far this year. I mean, he's really tearing the cover off the ball. Love what he's been up to. Andrew.
Yeah, man, Dan Carter, Hall of Fame season, Hall of Fame career. Last year, he could have just rode off into the sunset. He did it all. He won, you know, everything he could possibly win. He walks out of there with the ring. He came back. He said, I want to do this with my boys one last time. If he could be half as good as what he was last year, I think everybody would be happy. I mean, if he can repeat this, it would be unbelievable.
It would absolutely be unbelievable. Joe?
Yeah, I mean, listen, he's the backbone to this team. I think he's just so super important on what he means to the lineup, how Walker mentioned. The guy only struck out 29 times. I mean, that's insane in the amount of games they play in the season. And it guarantees that no matter how many times he comes to bat, you know, pitchers are scared of him. He's either going to be on base with walks or he's going to put the ball in play no matter what. So it's, you know, providing runs in as well when the guys are on base, super important. And listen, going back-to-back to win NJAC titles, it's not easy, all right? But if they can do it, he's a guy that's going to be part of that special run.
You know, obviously his hitting is going to be highlighted. Very versatile. Obviously talked about the pitching. Played left field last year with Vinnie Martin no longer being on the team. Dan Carter's had to move over to right field, so doing it all. But Andrew, from one Pioneer outfielder to another one who's come back, Steven Digirolamo. Talk to me about the veteran Pioneer.
Yeah, we'll take a look at Steve's stats here. His 2021 stats, he was great. He's always been great. He started all 123 games here as a Pioneer. 268 batting average, 3 home runs, 378 OP on base percentage, and he was 5 for 7 on stolen bases. Also, he is about to be the triple king at William Paterson, 15 in his career, second all time. He had so much more firepower to this team, and I think he's going to fit back perfectly.
I'd be really interested to see, you know, obviously didn't play last season. Take a little while to shake off that rust. Hopefully he can ingratiate himself back into that Pioneer lineup. Anthony?
Yeah, the 2021 numbers are very good, don't get me wrong. The 2020 numbers, though, for Steven Deej were absolutely insane. He was on track for a career year before, you know, COVID shut the world down. He was hitting well over 300, almost 400, 394 with a 1270 OPS in 9 games. If he can just come close to that, you know, steal some bases, provide elite defense in the outfield, he'll be set up this year.
Mike?
I mean, for a team that already has veterans on it, having a good leadoff hitter that's been around William Paterson since 2018. You know, last year he didn't play, but I think if he comes back and he can play anything like he has in the past, it's a great thing for the Pioneers.
And the Pioneers able to run the bases, field well. I mean, his career fielding percentage is like, it doesn't get much better than Steven Digirolamo's. Joe, talk to me about him.
Yeah, listen, 2021 they lost to Rowan in the NJAC, so Stevie G has already playoff experience. He's a veteran, a guy you guys mentioned in the locker room, the clubhouse. So, but again, power hitter. A guy who could, you know, put the ball in play. Leadoff hitter, super important just to get the guy on base. I mean, as a leadoff hitter, you know, even though his numbers slightly went down in 2021, you know, took a year off. That's super important to keep in mind, right? But I think he's able to, you know, come back into the game of baseball and really provide a lot of help to this team and make another run to the NJAC.
You know, love to see him be of assistance to the team, make another deep run in the NJAC. If you're going to have deep runs in the NJAC, guys like Dylan Habib, Vinny Martin graduate, guys like that, you need people to step up. Guys like Jake Lutz last year in his first season. So need some breakout stars to come from this roster. Anthony, who do you think is due for a big 2023?
Yeah, I'm circling Elliott Hayward. I really liked what he did last year. Going to take a look at his numbers. So far this year, he's just 1 for 7, but I expect that to turn around. Because, I mean, look at these numbers in 2022. 34 games, a .319 batting average, 4 dingers, so he's got pop. 17 RBIs, an OPS of 891. I really expect him to get a lot more playing time with the graduation of Vinny Martin, with Jake Lutz moving over to center field, with Justin Grippo out now in center field. I expect Elliott Hayward to get a lot of playing time and really have a chance to shine. Yeah,
we were there for opening day against Stevens. He was batting 9th. That's no shame in this lineup. You got the ability to turn things over back to Colin Lombardo. So he's going to be a big piece in the outfield and in the lineup. Mike, who you got?
Darmani Rivas. You know, he didn't get to play last year, and when he did, he wasn't amazing. But when he got to play before he was injured last year in 2021, he was 8-1, and you need solid pitching. You really need that, and he just had a good game just last week. And if he can contribute, I'm sure the Pioneers are going to go far.
You know, hitting is nice. Pitching and defense obviously wins championships. Saw the pitching and defense be such a pivotal part of that run last season. Andrew?
I'm going to stick with pitching. I'm going to go with the now sophomore pitcher, Neil Teledevara. He was great last year, secured the NJAC winning out last year for the Pioneers. Take a look at his stats. In 17 games, he had a 5.0 ERA in 27 innings pitched, 21 strikeouts and 11 walks. Definitely not bad numbers at all. Some room for improvement. Won an NJAC Rookie Pitcher of the Week. 4th in saves in the NJAC last year. I think he's going to take a big leap this year.
You're going to be an anchor in that Pioneer bullpen, not only this year, but years to come. Joe, who's your player?
How about some infield help? I'm going to go with Tom Radican. Listen, 2022, he was an NJAC Rookie of the Week at one point. Nice, cool 290 batting average, on-base percentage 397, OPS 816, 12 RBIs, a solid fielding percent with 905. Guy's a utility player. He can play anywhere in the infield, wherever you need him to be at, and he's going to help solidify that infield defense.
Yeah, so the Pioneers got off to a good start in their games against Stevens. They got Utica tomorrow. It's going to be a big-time matchup. Anthony, what do you expect to see from this game?
This is kind of like in the softball block that Mikey hinted at. Pioneers versus Pioneers. We're going to take a look at the numbers right here from a season ago. Utica was 21-18. Pioneers were 31-15. Utica in the conference was 11-8. Pioneers were 12-6. Batting average, Pioneers blow them out 340 to 313. Well, William Paterson Pioneers, I should preface. Home runs, Willie P kills them into home runs 51-17, and then ERA about the same. Pioneers Willie P a little bit higher. I expect this to be not an easy one for the Pioneers, but I gotta preface William Paterson to really take care of business here, because if you remember, Jimmy, me and you were on the call for Willie P's first game against Stevens. Came out a little sluggish. You know, you could tell first game of the year a little bit, maybe jitters, maybe a little bit of rust. This will be Utica's first game tomorrow. So maybe if the Pioneers can take advantage of that, while Utica's a little bit rusty, Pioneers should be able to get a win.
Yeah, definitely an advantage that the William Paterson Pioneers can utilize. It's going to take some getting used to. Andrew?
It's a big game against Utica, and one thing I want to highlight is Utica, they struggled against St. John Fisher last year. Last year, the Pioneers 3-0 against St. John Fisher. The Pioneers are yet to lose to Utica, so this is going to be a good one. Steve Yellen's been great. Colin Lombardo, they've both been great so far. Expecting the same tomorrow.
Yeah, hope those two guys can put some fear in the hearts of Utica tomorrow. Mikey?
You know, I think it's going to be a good game for the Pioneers. It's a building block because baseball seasons are usually a little longer, and it's like Walker said, it's not going to be easy to win, but if you can get this win and get things rolling, the Pioneers will repeat.
Yeah, definitely some confidence to head into NJAC play. Joe, close our day out.
Yeah, listen, this team is 0-4 against the Pios. Their last match was back in 2012. And listen, this team of Utica, they play in a respected Empire 8 conference. Teams like St. John's Fisher, Russell Gage College. So they play against some pretty tough teams in their conference. However, respectively, for the William Paterson Pioneers at least, they have to get on the pitchers early, right? Because don't let Utica as well get into the game, because this is a team that can score runs. But if you're pitching dominant, you're able to apply pressure on their pitching, this should be a nice, easy series for them.
Yeah, hopefully, we can only hope that it is an easy series for them. Hopefully the bats can come alive. The pitching, St. John Fisher games got canceled as the Pioneers have a little bit longer of a layoff from their last games. We wish them the best of luck tomorrow. And don't forget to follow us on Instagram and Twitter at SportsDeskWP for updates and more. We will be back next week, and a special thank you to all of our cast and crew once again for for a big IBS victory for best college sports program in the nation. So happy to be able to say that. Also, thank you so much to the wonderful Al Clarke. From Studio B in Hamilton Hall, I'm June Patton, and we'll see you next week.